Alright, so this trail here, we're still coming off Lakelands. We kind of hooked a right at the end of the Lakelands trail. And then, I don't think there's any more lefts until you get here. This trail runs, if you go straight, where we just turned left there, if you would have went straight and then followed the trail to the left, you would come right down to the Rosley Road gate. So if you're coming from Rosley Road, you can come up here and cut across and get to Chesapeake. So it's the Rosley Road Chesapeake Cut Through, is what I call it. And it's road, you run this road right to the end. It's not too bad, it's a good little road. And then she gets down to a first, second gear crawling trail. It's a good little trail, it needs some work. You can get through with just about anything. It's tight for a 64-inch side-by-side, but we get the Maverick through it all the time, so it can be done. We've had a 4-seater Terex through it multiple times, so it can definitely be done by anything. It's just you definitely got to go a little bit slower when you get into the bigger bikes. So we're at the end of the road portion here now. I always just put it in 4-wheel drive. It's just easier on the bike for trails like this. So yeah, like I say, this is I consider it to be my first gear trail. If you're in a belt drive, you definitely want to grab low gear for this. It's a good little trail, but she's rough. You got the road, of course, that you just saw. So then you come on to this. This is fairly slow. And then it comes out to more road on the other side, so it's not too bad. Get over these rocks. So left here is just nothing. There's some water here on the right, as you can see. Not really anything you're going to get stuck in. Nothing really crazy deep. Just something to play in. Got our leaning tree. I'll take that down sometime. Get in here with a couple loads of shale and clean this up a bit. This trail's getting pretty chewed up. It's getting more and more used, of course. Oh. I've seen this deep. This typically is not deep, barely ever, but I've seen it where it's very deep. After we get a lot of rain, especially when the ground's frozen, water's got nowhere to go. Never too deep to pass, of course, you can still pass it, but definitely don't want to discourage anybody from running this trail, because it's a good trail. Definitely do it in a stock bike. No issue there. This is the second time today we've done this trail. And she's rough. None of this water is deep. I mean, it doesn't really matter what line you pick, none of it's deep. These roots can catch you, especially if you're in 2-wheel drive. G-Rag playing in the trees. Ugh. this is pretty much the end of the rough section. Got a little bit of water here on the other side, but nothing major. A couple of good puddles playing. This has been brushed back a bit. We had some members of the club come out on their own and cleaned it up. I certainly appreciate that because that was starting to get brushed in fairly good. Take an hour, a couple hours, come out with a machete or a hatchet, clean that up. I certainly appreciate it. Couple little offshoot trails, none of which I really found that go anywhere. Can't remember if it's the first one that I just passed there or if it's the next one. You can take to the end of the road, then it goes to basically a so on the I think it's the second left. You can take it around, and like I say, it goes down to an old trail, and they've done some logging, so there's some skidder tracks through it, so it's pretty rough. But we took it across one day, and we ended up back over on the Lakeland side. So we took the rough trail across, and then we decided to see where this even rougher trail went, and we ended up back on the other side of where we just crossed. So we ended up having to come across again. But that's how you learn the trails, right? So there's a few rocks in this trail that'll catch you if you're not paying attention. They're some of them are sticking up fairly high. I mean, I'm running 27s and I don't hit very much, but there's a few here that I have to avoid. Don't let this water scare you because it's not really deep. It is deep, but it's not crazy deep, and it's got a good solid rock floor. Yeah, so if you take the left there, that's what I'm talking about. That goes up to another trail. Just road here now. All kinds of water to play in. It's fun in the summertime. This time of year, I mean, you don't really want to get soaked. I think it was -5 or so when we left this morning. It was pretty chilly. Or not this morning, this afternoon we went out, we all went to the cenotaph this morning. All not together, but all various groups. We all joined up afterwards and we're going for a ride this Remembrance Day. No better place than to be in the woods. Time, that's for sure. G-Rag is though. So anyway, if you turn right here, where I just turned left, it takes you right out to Chesapeake Drive, and from there, just a quick left at the end of Chesapeake and a quick right onto Sandy Lake, and you're at the lines called Clubhouse, which is our clubhouse. So Right here to the right, that's the gas trail. I'll do a video on that sometime. And this here runs up across the rocky ridge that runs across from basically over towards the villa. So